so good to see each and every one of you. New year, new season, new things to do. Yes, we don't want the same old thing over and over. How are you doing in making your plans? We don't really want to delve too much into that because I got a feeling most of us are still doing the same thing we were doing, what? In 2022. Well, in this video, I got a great question from one of the people that follow my channel, and I'm going to discuss that over the next 3 weeks, 3 different parts, because I want to make sure that you all understand exactly what I'm saying. You know, sometimes you can teach someone, which kind of delves into their question. To me, some things are just understood, and you have to remember that though the audience that you're dealing with or the choir that you're dealing with may not necessarily understand or have that background that you have. If you're in that category, I'm getting ready to talk to you. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Choir Directors Academy. Happy New Year to each of you. So glad that God blessed all of us. He actually made us, that's true. But he blessed all of us to be able to see a new year, and I'm happy and excited for what's to come in 2023, and I'm hoping that your 2023 is better than your 2022 and every preceding year other than that. Listen, in this show, we're going to start the new year thinking of new ways to do things, thinking of new ways to teach our choir, to enhance the sound, to do what we can do to make God's music ministry come alive within ourselves and also in the people that we manage, right? We're managers. We're not bosses. We're not tyrants. We are managers. Remember, these are God's people that he placed you over to manage because he saw something in you. So we want to make sure that this is not only a ministry ride, but it's an enjoyable ministry ride. One of the questions, I'm going to read it because I don't want to miss anything, because some of us may be also in that category. All right? But before I do that, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Yes, subscribe so that every time I do one of these videos, you can listen in or chime in or whichever one, leave your comments below and let me know what you think. And if you have something just like this viewer does, then you can put that in the comments, and guess what? I'll do a show about it, because like I said, some things I already know and I may not think about, but when you have a question that you may not understand and you put it down in the comments, or you send me an email, or you send it to, if you're on Facebook, you send me a message through Choir Directors Academy, or even on YouTube or wherever, I'll get that message. And then I'll do a show on it to help you. I'm only here to help. I'm not here to be tyrannical, like you got to do it the way I do it. No, I'm just here to offer you suggestions on how you can do things that can, and you implement them in the ministry that God placed you over, and see how it works out. And if that, and if you still have a question, then I'll get with you and do a side conversation where we can talk about it and you can give me more detail into what your issues may be. But I received this a couple of days ago, and a lot of us are already in that spot, and even myself, I have to reinvent and rethink things, okay? Because I can get stagnant too, and I have to fight against that, and you all too, because then once you become stagnant, you get stuck in a rut and you do the same thing over and over and over. I mean, the principles of music, the principles of holiness, the principles of sanctified life, we don't change that. That never changes. But our methods, not that we're entertaining people, but it's always a more excellent way to do something. But he sent me this note, and he said, "Hey, mentor, I need your help. I'm currently training the choir, and I'm being challenged because I have been singing ever since I was able to walk. So I don't remember how it feels to learn," and he capitalized that, learn how to sing. "What are some of the tips on helping them sing out while also blending and teaching them the theatrics of music ministry? So ministering to the audience and the importance of using your hands and clapping and moving. Help me out." Okay, well, guess what? I am going to help him out, and I'm also going to help everybody else out, and then remind myself. We as leaders have to do a little extra when we're over people, because sometimes you can, like the person that left me, you can do something for so long that it's second nature, and you don't realize that you can get stuck in a rut when you're talking to them. You can tell them the same thing over and over, but it's like, I heard that before. I get it. But they haven't had an epiphany or a ta-da. They haven't had that moment. So a lot of times we have to read and we have to do do extra reading, extra studying to help us. Myself, this particular book I recommend it to other leaders, and it's a great book for leaders, whether it's music, any level of leadership. It's by John C. Maxwell. It says the complete 101 collection, what every leader needs to know is attitude, relationships, equipping, leadership, mentoring, and success. Go to Amazon. It was only like $10.36. Get this book. This is worth the investment. You will be surprised what you find as you're reading. If you read it with an open mind, you will see a lot of things that you're doing that you should not be doing. And you're hampering the choir. Throughout the year, what I read in here, which I'm going to use some of it as I discuss this topic, I'm going to use some of this as feeding points so that you can absorb it and make it a part of your life, okay? Because being in leadership is not just me telling you what to do, okay? That's the part that everybody seems to get captivated about. Always telling people what to do. I'm in front. I wear the best clothes. I do this. I do that. No, it's way more than that. Most of your work is behind the scenes, and it takes a dedicated person with an open heart, with a mind to listen. You have to be teachable. You have to be dependable. But you definitely got to be teachable in order to be a successful leader. All right? Number one, as a leader, you can absolutely, positively, unequivocally, you cannot get frustrated. Okay? With the mentee that I have, in his note that he gave me, I can immediately see that he's frustrated. And he did the right thing. He reached out to somebody who already been where he's trying to go and that can help him. Do not get frustrated. I know it's hard. When you're going over a part over and over and over and over and over, and you're telling them how to do this, you're telling them how to do that, and they are still not getting it. It's frustrating, okay? Because you're in your mind, we're looking at this subjectively. In your mind, I've done this, and that, this, and they still have not changed. And then you get frustrated because you're not listening to me. Well, actually, they are. But your delivery, remember, your delivery has a lot to do with it. We look at that, don't look at what's going on as an impossibility or adversity, because adversity makes us, okay? When we have challenges like that, we don't like them. We like for everything to work out right. But if you don't have challenges, then when things start to go right or go in the direction that you've been hoping for forever, you will know how to appreciate the value of people. You will know how to appreciate the progress. It won't be that I did this and I did that and I. It won't be that. You will realize it was all God. I was just an instrument. Thank God. I can actually see the progress, okay? So don't look at adversity in directing the choir and the things that seem like they're not gelling. Don't get frustrated. Remember, that adversity or that challenge brings about a maturity in you, all right? Because before you might get all upset and twisted about things, but this is bringing out another side where you're not as upset. You realize, okay, let's try to approach this another way, because this way is not working. Get away from beating the dead horse. If you keep doing something like this over and over and over and it's not changing, then that's not working. You need to do something else. The horse is dead. Let's move on to something else. Let's try, if anything, let's try to revive it and see how else we can help this situation, right? So don't get frustrated. Remember, adversity and challenges, in this case, builds maturity. Whereas, as you'll see yourself changing, where you don't get upset as much. Okay, they made a mistake. I'm not going to fly off the handle and kick everybody out the choir and have a conniption. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to think about it, okay, because trust me, there are going to be plenty of times they're going to miss the cue. Guess what? You're going to miss the cue. A lot of the mistakes that they make will be because you didn't do anything. You don't even think that may frustrate them, because they're hearing you say do something, and then you turn around and do it, and then you go, well, I'm the boss. I don't have. No, you have to apologize and get it right, and that builds up a rapport among your people. Second of all, it creates resilience. When the choir makes a mistake or they're not coming around, and then you do something and then it comes out, it gives you that power to bounce back. Everything is not going to go your way. Trust me, 2021 definitely didn't go my way, with both of my parents passing away at the same time. That did not go my way. 2007, when my brother came back from Iraq, that didn't go my way when he passed. So nothing is ever going to really go your way, all right? And you have to be resilient. You can't give up life. You can't pass out and say, oh my God, this is not working. You can't do that. You have to get up, shake yourself out and say, with God, I can. That song by Bashan Mitchell, with God, I can. With God, I can. You got to do that. Get up and be resilient and keep it moving. Third of all, you got to change your thought pattern. Sometimes we are so negative. I tell people about that in church all the time. I said, stop being so negative. Stop always looking at the bad part. Well, I ain't this, and I'm not that. I don't have this. I don't have that. Because then that makes you settle for something that's not yours. Right? You'll settle. You'll lower the standards, and you'll settle for something that's really not for you. And then you wonder why you're still not happy. Right? So you when you do this, you can't allow your emotions or everything to get into it. You got to change your thought pattern. Look, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to stand true to the standard. This is the way it should be, and we're going to continue to work to get there. But approach it from a positive way, from a happy way. This is a challenge, and we're going to make it. The difficult we handle immediately. The impossible, that may take a while, but we're going to get through it. We're going to do this. All right? Change your attitude. You can't be a negative person and be a leader. You can't, and that all comes under frustration. Because once you get frustrated, you'll start snapping at people, you'll get aggravated, you'll have an attitude at them, and that's not going to help the situation. You're only going to make it worse, right? You're only going to make it worse. So what you want to do is change your thought process. Okay? There's some good in this, and we're going to accomplish this in Jesus' name. Referring to that book, one thing you can do if you are struggling to understand what it's like to learn, take a class on something that you don't know. Take a class. I don't care, do it via YouTube or whatever. Take up some crocheting, anything. Something you don't know how to do that requires skill. And you sit there, and no matter how much you watch that video, it's not coming out right. That's a humbling experience to try to figure something out where you're normally good. You do all of the things that you're good at, because that's what we do. We don't really like to learn. Very few people really like to learn something different or do something differently from the way they always done it, right? If you're one of those like me that grew up singing, you grew up directing, you grew up playing an instrument, you grew up singing in 4 or 5 choirs, you grew up singing in competitions, you grew up winning competitions, you have another mindset, right? But to take that information and translate it to somebody else, I take up things that I can't do, that I don't know how to do, and I work and learn at it, and that helps me to have more patience with people, because I approach it as though, they don't know music the way that I do. So I take a second look at myself and my delivery. Not that I'm dummy down, what they say, dummy down yourself. No, I'm not dimming my light for anybody. No, I don't dim my light. But what I do is I make sure and ask God to give me a way to say it that their minds can interpret it the right way. It's all in how you present things. A lot of times determine how people will learn. If you present it in a condescending way, they're not going to learn much. Okay? You don't have to be condescending to show that I'm in charge and you're not. And sometimes we can do these things and we don't even realize we're doing it, especially people that come from a background like me. We can do stuff and not even realizing we're doing it. We don't even realize we're coming across that way. Because we're just saying, well, I'm just telling you, I'm talking. But to somebody else, it's perceived, you don't understand, it comes out another way. And that's why I always ask God, before I present myself before anybody, even before you, I always ask him to help my words to come out right. Sometimes you hear me use what they call bad English, but I've been raised to speak the King's English. So sometimes I do that because I don't want to come across as, whatever, society or whatever, and that's not the proper way. That's not what I want people to see. I want you to see Christ first of all in my life. But then I also want you to know that the information that I have, it was freely given to me, and I want to freely give it back. I hope I said something to help you on today, that enlighten you. This is only part 1. We got part 2 and part 3 coming up. But I want you as a leader to focus on this. Take inventory of yourself, right? We have to do that. As leaders, we have to take inventory of ourselves. And we have to be honest and truthful with ourselves. We're not flawless. We're not flawless, but we strive for maturity. We strive. And when you become a leader, it's because there's a certain level of maturity in you that God wants to develop even further, right? And you have to notice that there's a level of maturity in you that needs to be enhanced, that God can use in his kingdom. And you've been selected as the person for this time in that place for development. You've moved up to the leadership team. Now, everything that you learned that may need to be enhanced or may be wrong, he's going to filter it out of you through the challenges that you face in the choir. That's what I'm telling you. Have the right mindset. Don't look at it like, oh, here we go. Look at it as I'm maturing for my next assignment, whatever that may be. I love all y'all. Happy New Year again. I'll see you in the next video.